So this is going to be the first gym vlog that I have ever done. So today's a bit of a chilled morning. I recently started training in not what is a new gym. It's actually a gym that I've been a member of for ages, but I never ever used. So literally this week is my first week there, and I'm going to take you with me on my upper body day, because it's the day that I generally like training the least, as do I think quite a few women. I've changed gyms. For context, I'm a mum of 3. I am an online coach, and I was an in-house personal trainer, but I'm not anymore. But I've changed gyms because the gym that I was training at was about 25 minutes to half an hour drive from me, which meant that it was actually taking up a massive amount of my day just to be able to go and train. So if you bear in mind, if you've got a school run, you've dropped off at like 8:45, and then you've got to go and do the school run again at 2:45, like for me to have 3.5 hours of just going to the gym and training was just insane. And as much as I loved that facility, it was just too far. It was costing me a fortune in fuel, and I actually didn't realise that I had been paying a membership at a gym that was 5 minutes from my house for about 1.5 years. And I've only used it twice, and I thought I'd cancelled the membership, but I actually hadn't. So yeah, I've kind of transferred back. I came back here on Monday, and even though I've trained for like 15 years, I still get really nervous when I'm going into a new gym. So like even now, I know it's fine, I've been here twice already this week, but I'm still nervous of going in there, which it kind of just goes to show that actually gym anxiety is real for all of us. It doesn't matter how long you've been training, how seasoned you are, like this is natural for me, and I still get like really quite anxious about it. So I'm going to go in. My plan today is to train a little bit of chest and mainly shoulders. So I'm going to go for like an upper push. I've already done pull this week. I've already worked glutes. I'm in a habit of doing leg day nearly every single day in the moment, which is really bad. I just really enjoy it. And I used to love benching, but I've really gone off of it. So I'm going to go in there, get that done, and yeah, prove that actually being in a new gym is not as scary as it seems. So I'm going to come in with the attitude of let's just fucking do this, because quite frankly, I dread an upper day. So I'm gonna start with a couple of rounds of press ups to warm up, so this gets me ready for bench. I'm really fussy with my press ups, so I like to keep my elbows really tucked in, so they're almost kind of like military style. I don't like having a flary elbow or a wide kind of stance on a press up, but I tend to do like 2 or 3 sets of just like 10 to 12, just warm through, give myself a little bit of a stretch, and then I know that I'm quite primed and ready to bench. So as much as I might hate an upper day, especially a push day, I'm actually not that weak. So I start off with a bench of 40 kilos, which is not bad. It's not bad. I don't know why I dislike it so much as a training day. And then I'll probably spend ages fanning around with the little clips because they're just an absolute nightmare to get on the bar. But yeah, so I tend to stagger or almost like pyramid my sets when I'm doing a big compound lift. So I'll start off with a lighter weight, probably hit it for about 10, maybe 12 reps. And then set by set, I'll kind of go through and increase my weights. So again, I'm kind of a stickler for full range of motion with bench. I see a lot of women kind of really arching their back. There's always a reason as to why they do that, and that's cool for them. But I like to be quite flat actually and bring the bar as close down to my chest as I possibly can, and really work that kind of range of motion. I have been told before that I've got quite a tight grip, so like I keep my hands quite close together on bench, but I actually think it's pretty normal. And then between sets, I do that typical thing where I don't know what the fuck to do with myself, so I just have a little look around, throw my legs about, and then I go in. So I've set up 44 kilos here. It's actually really annoying. The gym that I've moved to, I'm used to having 2.5 kilo plates. They only have twos. So yeah, 44 feels like a really odd number to be benching, but you know, we roll with it. So because I've taken the weight up, I'm going to take the reps down. So to still make sure that I have as much range of motion as possible and as strong technique, but take the reps down in accordance to the weight that I am now using. So it definitely got a bit spicy there towards the end. And once again, in set number 3, I'm actually going to take my weight up further. So I'll take the 2s off and I'm going to pop a 5 on. So that actually takes me up to a bench of 50 kilos, which that ain't bad going. I don't know why I dislike this so much. I used to love benching. So I'd bench at least 2-3 times a week. And at one point my goal was to get an 80 kilo bench. And I did get a 75 kilo 1 rep max. And it was a pretty strong rep as well. And then I've just gone off of it. I think as I've got older, upper body feels harder. And so therefore I'll find an excuse. And I definitely prefer lower day. But as you can see, 50 kilos, it's tough. I'm just not quite as impressed with my range of motion on the last couple as I was my first few sets, but it's not bad. Now, next up, we've got cable flies, which is something that I actually don't really do all too often. I just do it for the pumps. I love the pump on a cable fly. So I keep my upper body really quite kind of hinged and towards the floor so that I can get a really, really good wide spread and pull kind of really straightforward in front of me. Really focusing on actually using my chest to do this and not necessarily my arms. And it gets quite spicy towards the end. It gets a bit tough. Once again, fucking don't know what to do between sets. You know, just have a wave about. So stimmy. I've never noticed how stimmy I can be in the middle of a gym. Also, apparently I need to adjust my pants. I'm straight into set number 2. So this is the type of exercise that I might actually only really do 2 sets of. It depends. I tend to quite often with a cable based exercise, I'll only maybe potentially do 2 sets rather than 3 to 4. So generally with a compound such as bench, deadlift if it's back down, squats if it's leg day, I'll do up to 5 to 6 sets of the compound and really, really focus on that. So this is very much just like an accessory movement. Now, the angle on this was a little bit frustrating because I forgot my tripod, which meant that I had to use my water bottle for everything. And then the guys in the corner kind of came into the picture. So I was like, right, I'm not going to be able to film. So I didn't actually film all my sets of shoulder press, but I'm pretty sure these are 14s. And I just went with it for 3 sets. And then I've kind of taken the pressure off of chest and really focused on shoulders. I find that my chest develops quite quickly. My shoulders do too, but my chest really does come along quite quick. So we've got some cable upright rows, and I've actually supersetted these. So with smaller, more kind of accessory movements, I love to superset, partly because again it just gives an awesome pump, but also because it just hits really nice fatigue really, really quick. So I superset these with lateral raises. I've started off with the 6 kilograms and I've probably been a bit fucking ambitious. Like you can see I'm struggling. That hurts. That does not feel very nice, especially after an upright row. I'm clearly regretting my life decisions right here. I'm really regretting my life decisions right here. Obviously, I'm just going to stand around for a bit. I find this is the most awkward bit of any kind of gym session, is that rest period. I tend to not time my rest, which I know a lot of people do,
but I get a bit too obsessed with numbers, so I just be constantly clock watching. And the gym's like the one place that I have to actually chill me the fuck out, not make me even more stressed. So I tend to just go again when I'm ready. I actually ended up doing quite a few sets of these. I found them quite satisfying to do. So an upright row actually feels like a really nice movement. And it hits like the cap of my shoulders really, really, really well. You've got to try and keep your wrists really quite neutral, so not allow yourself to bend too much at the wrist. But it's like a top little movement that can really become quite painful quite quick. And then once again, chucking it in with a lateral raise. Clearly, I'm feeling slightly demonic because I've stuck with those sixes, knowing just how painful that is actually going to be. Like, come on, the face on it. That's not even a nice rep. That hurt. Yep, you crack your neck, babe. And then I've gone into a third and final set of these. I apparently just wanted to absolutely annihilate myself this shoulder day. I mean, the pain cave is like well and truly open at this point. The fact that my head has just become instantly focused, eyes shut, shake of the head, just get the fuck through this. Like, you can see that's hurting. There was an F-bomb at the end there. And then I've been smart. I've dropped my weight. So I've gone down to 4 kilos on these lateral raises. It's still painful. I've still got too much upper body jerking. But do you know what? It fucking hurts. I'm 3 sets deep at this point. I've hit shoulders pretty heavy. So now they're out the way. They are done. And I'm into another shoulder superset. So, you know, I wanted to just hurt myself on this session. I think it was because I don't like upper body and I do avoid it. I do try and make sure that I can really, really feel it when I'm in there. So I've gone for alternate forward raises. And again, this is actually a superset. So I've supersetted them, which you'll see in a minute, with upward raises, but with my palms up. So when I twist my palms, I tend to feel like that hits my chest a little bit more than it hits my delts. So it kind of separates the movement. And I actually find this really quite challenging, which you can probably tell from my shit-ass technique towards the end there. I don't normally watch myself this in depth when I'm training. And yeah, there's some things that I need to work on. This has definitely been interesting. I've gone in for set number 2. I've stuck at the same weight, which I think again was a 4 kilos. Sorry to the dude in the back that I've got in the camera. But as soon as I turn into those like upwards palm raises, it burns. Like the burn and the pump is absolutely unfucking real. And I actually do kind of slickly like these movements. So obviously about to drop a dumbbell there. Now, these are what I don't actually know the name for these, but these were once shown to me by my bodybuilding coach back when I competed, and oh my fucking god, do they hurt. So it's essentially a lateral raise into a forward raise, back to a lateral raise again, and down. You do not want a heavy weight for these, and I tend to try and go as high rep as possible. So I stay between 10 and 15. I think I've got a 3 kilo here. Like, this is a very, very lightweight movement. And they will all of a sudden just get you. And it becomes like a mental battle once that bite is there. Welcome to a moment of me actually stimming and having a burp and then laughing about it because I know I'm fucking disgusting. Now, I think I've been a bit bolder and I went up a little bit in weight, which might have been just a tad of a mistake. But with these, it's all about really focusing on remaining controlled in your technique. So you want to get a really nice lateral raise, bring it round to the front, and then bring it back again. That is one whole rep. And they do become exhaustive very, 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 very quickly. Now I'm going to finish my session with just a little bit of core. This is something that I've been implementing a lot lately. So essentially my pelvis moves about, and that's from having kids. So actual core work is really important for my stability, making sure that I'm nice and strong, and making sure that I don't get myself injured. So naturally I've got to tidy up the studio because somebody's left a whopping fucking bench in the center of it. And here, this is me just showing off my rolls. No, I'm just being honest about how a real body moves. And then I also just wanted to check out a little bit because, you know, gains, bro. But yeah, so as you can see, I tend to rotate specifically on one side, and that's the side where my pelvis tends to move a lot. So kind of implementing deep, like proper core work such as shoulder taps, dead bugs, and things like that are really important at the moment in my session. So once my pelvis is gone, that's it. I am like deep in pain, and it's just not nice. So I only do a couple of sets. I don't need to do many. And then that's it. We fucking made it, gang. We got through an upper body session. It was very, very, very shoulders focused, but enjoyable. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't about PBs. It was just about getting it fucking done and getting out of there. Sometimes that is literally what you need to focus on. Is there's all days we don't necessarily like training, or we just don't feel like showing up. But those are the days when actually showing up and actually getting it done, you're going to achieve the most. And clearly my shoulders are really fucking hurt, and I'm really, really pumped. I know I was pumped at the end of this. So yeah.
I am done. It is absolutely pelting it down with rain. So I've just got like slightly drowned ratted. But that was quite a nice little session, to be fair. I forgot my tripod. So excuse a lot of the angles in which I've had to film, because I've literally had to prop my phone on my water bottle on the floor for a lot of it. So it's probably not the best angles, but you know what, first one, we tried. But I always find that with shoulders and chest I get really like pumped. I don't sweat a lot, I don't get out of breath, but I get really, really pumpy, and I currently feel like my shoulders just don't want to really move. So it's not a body part that I train very often, just because my shoulders are actually quite responsive, so they grow quite quick, and I can look like a tank very quickly, so I'm quite careful with them. But otherwise, no, decent little session, nice weights hit. I am starving. I've got a meeting in literally an hour, so I'm gonna go home, have something to eat, and crack on with the rest of my day, because I've got a ton of work to do today. So thanks for joining me on my first ever gym vlog. I don't know if it went okay. It was really weird training without headphones. Like, I didn't really know what to do with myself, but hey ho. And yes, I will catch you again very, very soon. Hopefully I might actually do another one of these, because it was pretty fun. Have a good one. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks. Love you, bye.